Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bigfoot, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are playing some Transport Fever White Valley. This is episode number 39, and this is the first time I have played this game in 5.5 weeks. So this is basically the end of the mass recording, and it's time to go ahead and integrate a lot of your feedback which you've given me over about the last 20 episodes. It's been a crazy time since I've been away. I'm glad I've been able to continue and upload for yous. However, it has meant that a lot of feedback has just been missed, and I've not really been able to integrate and expand on the series the way that the viewer would like to see. I was sort of just going off my own ideas, which, don't get me wrong, a lot of them were very exciting. But there's a lot of stuff that you guys want to see, and a lot of stuff we're going to go ahead and get started with. So first of all, I must give a big shout out to Ethmeister. He is one of many who watches this series on every single time an episode comes out. It's not quite daily, but he put together a very good mod list, and I've gone ahead and downloaded that. Now that mod list has about, I want to say maybe 300-400 mods on it. It's got a lot, so downloaded them all anyway. And I've not integrated all of them into the game. I'm slowly doing it save by save just because it takes a long time to load up. Trust me, my game takes a good 4 or 5 minutes. I do have a lot of other mods in here though, so I went ahead and did that, and we've got a lot of new stuff to play with, so I'm excited to do that. Everyone also seemed to be extremely interested in Crossrail and having underground systems, so that's something I really want to do as well, expand upon that and see if we can make that a bit more successful. That is currently only in the City of Hetton right now, but there's a lot of other cities which could benefit with some similar systems like that. Hetton is just one prime example because I wanted to get the airport successful, and it is doing better. However, it's still not successful, I would say, all the way to the stage how I want it to be. But for example, we started off in Crowlands. As we can see here, this town has massively outgrown its transport system. Originally, this is the original tram in the town, but this tram is nowhere near fit for purpose, so there's going to be a lot of this going on in the next few episodes, and I just want to do a lot more experimenting really as well. Now, as I've been away, I think it's due to many reasons, I'm pretty sure, but the videos on Transport Fever aren't getting as many views as they once were, which is a real shame. So, what I'm proposing is I do up to episode 40, then this game goes on a break for maybe a month. Though again, I'm not really at all sure what games people would rather see on the channel right now. There's 2 Point Hospital, there is Sim Airport, and there is Another Brick in the Mall. Now, Another Brick in the Mall is very close to ending. It's probably only got about 5 more episodes. And then similarly with Sim Airport, so we've got options there. But would you like me to take a break from this and do something else? I'm not really at all sure, give me your feedback, but I can now go ahead and integrate your feedback with a lot of ease. There was a lot of other comments which we will get to later on in the episode, some about flying in particular. Belly Twister, again, you've gone and given me some good ideas there, so hopefully we can go ahead and really just cash in on a lot of this work which we need to do. Okay, so let's do some building. Where are we going to start? Well, there's a lot of areas, and I mean, last time I finished off it was to do with the massive railway project which we have here, the Riverside project, and as we can see, it is going quite well. I'm very happy with it indeed. Lots of people changing trains. However, I am seeing some overcrowding which we will sort out. I've also got new ships, I've got new trains, so there's lots of areas which we can go ahead and expand on into, which is exciting. The one thing is, the river trains themselves seem extremely empty. That's not too bad there, but there's no one waiting at all at this end here for the river train. Okay, there is some people getting off the train there now, so that's fine. But we will look into that more. There's so much to do, you know, we're just all over the place right now, but what I really want to do, because this series could go on forever, realistically, I maybe want to make it 50-60 episodes. I want to go ahead and really try and focus on a lot of the negative cash routes and try and make them positive. That is one thing I really want to work on, and that should be quite easy to do. We are going to start though with Crossrail, or the underground system, as you will, which I've been working on as of... I sort of worked on it a lot in episode number 36, and that was really good fun. It seemed to go down really well, so let's go ahead and see where we're at with that. So if we scroll down to the bottom here, this is the U Hetton, the underground Hetton, and as we can see, though you can't see very well at all actually, there's no real good way to see this, is there? So we've got the train stations here. If that opens up, there we go. 1, 2, 3, and then 4 right now. So those are our 4 underground stations. What I want to go ahead and do is add in another underground line here. People said they would like to see one up at the top of the town, which I'd very much agree. I think that would be a good idea. And then have them come back together, which should be nice. Additionally as well, Ethmeister, you suggested going ahead and changing the trains, and as these ones aren't very profitable right now, I can really see why not. So currently the vehicles we've got in here are... I couldn't tell you, there's so many new items in here as well now, which is going to confuse me even more. It is going to be some form of electrical train for what it is, but I'm not at all sure what it is. I mean, we do have some actual metro trains now, which might be good to try. It all really depends, because I don't actually have a lot of people using the metro, so I only very much need small cars right now. I'm thinking it must be diesel then. Yeah, it is diesel, so it's not quite the rail bus, it's the PA1 we're using right now. So this costs 261k per year right now, so that is a lot of money. And I'm wanting to try and reduce that again. However, it's quite difficult with trains. All trains are just expensive. That's the way things go. It would probably be better if I had trams underground, but again, that's not really it's not really too achievable, to be honest. And then anything here is just ridiculously expensive. So that's the cheapest I can really go with right now, I believe. Yeah, that is the cheapest we've got. There's the rail bus, but I mean, I need a decent speed as well, and attractive effort for that matter. So this is cheaper, but I'm not going to go down to that level. I think we're fine with what we've got. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a new underground Crossrail line in the town here and see what we can do. So let's go ahead and let's get some tracks and let's jump underground. So this is really the route that it takes right now. We're going to do an upper route now, starting and ending at the same stations, but the intermediate stations will be quite different. As well as that, we could always go ahead and come down and have a lower line too. So again, a lot of this is about experimenting, and it is good fun. Right, okay, so first of all, what platform do we use here? It seems to me that we use... Right, is that going to allow for that? It is going to allow for that, which is good. So we can get out the station, that's perfect. So, right now, if we actually go underground, you can sort of see that currently for the current line, we're using this right-hand side platform. We're going to be using this left side platform, and this is going to take us up into the top of the town. So I think it's best to go ahead and actually build my train stations first, then we'll go from there. So what I want to go for is a certain kind of station, which is just a road. Now again, I've got a lot of stations in here now. Some of these which we will deploy into other towns. I was kind of bored of having like open roof stations, and as much as those are, you know, easy to see trains, I do like some architecture with it, you know. Something like this might be a bit overkill, for example, but it would be maybe nice to have along the waterfront, for example. Adds a little bit to some individual towns. Okay, so let's scroll back through here. I've not removed any mods. And unfortunately I'm not seeing... Is it just this mod? Yeah, it is this mod. Perfect. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go for high speed. We're going to go for depth of 20. Now, for the upper part of town, I could realistically, I think, have a stop up here. I think this would be quite a good idea, though I do have a lot of trucks in this area. Why don't we go for something round about here? I think that could be a good idea. So what I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to cut this road back for now. Then what I'm going to do is see if we can stick this in here like so. Again, the angles might be really difficult to go out and just connect up the line. So that should connect in no problem though. I'll go ahead and see if this can be done, which it can, which is perfect. And what we can do is we can draw the other line along and into here. Like so, perfect. And I'm not getting many snapping issues, which is nice. And that's going to run into there like that. So that is the first station on the new line done. Now we need to go ahead and redraw the road, which this is when things can be extremely difficult. Too much slope all of a sudden. We didn't have that error before, did we? It is unfortunate, but this is what happens sometimes. Right, let's go ahead and cancel that. Let's cut this back and take away that. Grab that from there, and again, too much slope. Crazy. You'll go just into there for now on then, which is fine. That's another roundabout way. but at least we now have our first station on the go. Now the next station, whereabouts do I want it? I want it right in the centre here of town, where a lot of the high-rise buildings are. I think that would be a really good idea to have. Though, I'm unsure. I'm just having a look at these other stations. Cars can definitely... I'm paranoid that cars actually can't drive over train stations. I mean, they must be able to, because here we've got trams going over them, so there must be no problems there at all. So that tram, yeah, they're going over the station, so that's fine. That's not a problem at all. Right, so what we're going to do is we're probably going to remove a really busy street like this one here, for an example. I think this would be a good idea. And that's a fair amount of space away, and that's going to connect up to Hetton Central extremely well, which that connects onto the busy city of Hampstead as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, we're going to need to wait for this tram to clear out the way actually. The amount of people that have just come out of here, so there could be a lot of people using this underground system, that would be great. What we're going to do is we're going to delete this. Then we are going to... if my mouse would play ball. We're going to go ahead and rotate this around, and we're going to go ahead and stick this in here like so. I'm going to have to upgrade this though, but we'll worry about that shortly. And then if we go back into roads, we go back into large streets, yes and yes. Build that from there to... there to there. It's not going to allow for it, so I'm going to have to downgrade this all to single track. Then we're going to upgrade this here like so, and I think that works out perfect. So this now is just no cars. I mean, there's not a lot of cars in this part of town anyway, but that should hopefully do the job. And now we've got another connection. How easy is it going to be to connect up to track? I will do that shortly. I realise these stations are probably a bit unnecessarily long, aren't they? They really are. But I mean, that's easy enough to sort out. I can shorten these quite easy. They only need to be 80, or if not 40 to be honest, I think. Yeah, let's shorten them like that, so that's down to 40, and then this can also go down to 40 as well. Though that's not going to allow me to do that, interesting. Okay, what about 80? Nope, so I'm going to have to stick with a long station, but that's fine for now. So where are we going to stop in this right-hand side of the city? We've got the other station there, so we want to keep this one up nice and high. You know what, I'm gonna redo this quickly, give me 1 second. Okay, so I've gone ahead and changed that station just to a size of 80 meters, so just in case we do have upgrades and it gets very popular, I can allow for that. And I know this part of town, it's going to be quite difficult to upgrade, so 80 is fine. What I'm thinking about doing now is just going for another station, probably round about here, probably round about the industrial part of town. It's not too far away from the other one, also near tram routes here. And then, with that done, then I think I'll be happy with what we've got going here. So let's go ahead and get this final stop in here. Again, I'm going to keep this at 80 in length. This time though, we do not need tram tracks. But that can go in there like that, perfect. Then we can go ahead and grab a road, no and no. Draw you from there to there, though again, you are complaining about too much slope, which I think is bogus, but we'll run you from there. There's no way there's too much slope there. I think it's just because this other road here is really awkward. It's that section there, so we can go ahead and redraw that into there. And then from here we can have... This is a difficult road. Yeah, there we go, perfect. Right, so that's that problem solved, and then this will just amalgamate. I don't think there's really much need for a station over here. I could have an additional station and have it wrap round the other way. That might actually be more beneficial to me. So what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and get rid of the connection into that platform, because we're not going to use that. What we will do instead though is we'll draw out from... We're using the bottom tier here, yeah, so... Gonna draw out from that platform there like so. Yep, perfect. This is, yeah, this is quite different to what we've had before. Then we could have another station. This is wanting to surface though, that's the problem, and we don't want that right now. I'm gonna build another station on this line actually, because we can quite easily. So I'm gonna have another station on this road segment here. So what we'll do is we'll cut this back a tiny bit. Then we can go ahead and build that in there like so. Hopefully this can build... No, I didn't think it would allow me to do that. Unfortunate, unfortunate. Right, let's cut that back. Let's go ahead and place this a little closer this time, so like that. Then let's go ahead and draw that from there to there and build that. And I'm also just going to go ahead and upgrade a lot of these roads here as well, because they shouldn't be as small as they are right now. It just does also affect the building density, for example. And I want to allow for as much building to occur in this part of town as possible, you know? Right, okay, so that will do. I quite like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and connect all these stations up, signal it up, and that will be us pretty much ready to go with our second underground line. So after a few minutes, it's just so amazing how quickly you can do stuff underground now. It's great. Don't get me wrong, there still could be some improvements with it. Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 has some great underground tools, but as we can see, this is what we've gone for here. So it is further north in the town, or further up in the town, should I say. I always tend to refer to looking this direction as north. I don't know why, I always have on this map, but as we can see, it is further up in the town, further up on the hill, I guess you could say. And I'm liking it. I think it's going to go ahead and hopefully help, one, serve the airport better, and two, also just serve the town a little bit better. And I am quite happy with where the stops are. This stop is a part of town which isn't the best connected up, so I think this stop up here shall do well. Then you've got this stop here right outside the central train station. This stop here is beside two tram stops, and it's on the verge of the industrial and residential areas. Industrial on this left hand side here, and then we've got residential to the right, and then over here this is like a residential part of town, so to get across town really easy or into the centre for work, whatever, this could be used too. So, and I'm also liking how we've got this train coming in the other side of the, I guess, airport train station, which is what this is. Okay, so with that done now, we can go ahead and get some trains onto this now. That's interesting. Of course, because we got rid of that for the Bayside project, didn't we? Or with the Riverside project, should I say. So let's go ahead and get in a new engine house. Let's get some engines on the go here. Now, I do have one or two new mods, as I said, so we're going to go ahead and play around with these. This is, it looks like a double engine house. Quite smart, quite detailed, actually. And it looks a bit more like a modern engine house. Or not even a modern one, I guess, but it's just the details on it. It's a bit more detailed than the plain default one anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can connect that up to there. Great. This is just a service line which basically goes down underground and then it splits up into the two tracks. I guess I could call this one probably the central one and the upper one. That's probably what I'll do, because I could possibly, as I've mentioned again, build a lower one, but I feel the trams serve this bottom part of town quite well, so I feel that I'm unlikely to do that, but again, we'll see what happens in the future. Okay, so let's go ahead and buy some trains. We know which ones we're going to go for. We're going to go for diesel. It's going to be these PA1s, and we're going to buy 5 of them, just because I think they're the best for now. I know, yes, Eathmeister, you did say use the Class 101s, but until I am making more money on this, it's just not worth it right now at all. What I do need to do though is go ahead and rename this line and actually draw the new line. So this is the Hetton, just call this the middle line, and then we'll have the upper line now as well. So let's go ahead and build this new line. So from here at Hetton Station 2 up to Lower Hetton, into Hetton Station 6, into Hetton Station 7, into Hetton Station 8, and then the airport. And then we're going to make sure we select the stations on the way back this time. We didn't do that last time. So I mean, this line actually has an extra, what, 2 more stations compared to the middle line, which is also hopefully going to make some difference as well. So this is the Hetton, and this is the upper line, which is perfect and good to go. So all we need to do now is go ahead and jump back into this here, release the trains onto the new line, and there we go. That is not worked. Great. Okay, right, give me 1 second. So as much as I have praise for bringing in new mods, and this mod is very cool, it turns out it's actually 2 separate engine sheds, not just the one, and that's when I was getting caught out. So with that sorted, we can finally release the trains and see how they get on. As we can see again, it's just 1 cars, 20 capacity, but hopefully we will see a little bit more movement on the network, and it'll hopefully affect the middle line as well, but again, we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to move on to some unprofitable routes, and I want to go ahead and see if we can make some differences. And in particularly, I also want to go ahead and focus on some individual towns, maybe also some that could do with airports. So looking at the list, let's go ahead and look at our finances and our individual routes. So this is the vehicles one, this is the routes one. So as we can see here, in general, most of our routes are positive. I would maybe say about maybe 1 in 5 is maybe in the negative. Some of them not by very much, don't get me wrong, but there is some which are in the millions, and we're going to go ahead and work on that from the get-go. So it looks like a livestock service is having problems, and I think we know why this is. I need to double head this train, and someone left a comment saying that, and I very much do. The demand is just not quite there right now, which I can totally relate. We've also got a lot of new wagons on the go now as well, but I just need to double head all of these trains, so let me go ahead and sort this out right now, and then from there we'll go ahead and see what else we can work on. So let's go back into our rail manager. We're looking for G, we're looking for gold mine, and we are looking for livestock. There we go. So first thing is that jumps out, we've got 2 different trains on here, which isn't good. It's a very slow uphill service as well, and do we need 2 trains? Honestly, possibly not. Automatic replacement as well isn't on, so I don't know. I don't think these trains are that old, to be fair though, but what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and it looks like we've got maybe class 47s on the front, but these trains don't have the best climbing. Those are maybe class 37s actually, so yeah, I think we might be better with different locomotives as well, to be honest. So let's go ahead and see what we've got. So first of all, electrical locomotives is probably where I'd want to start off with. There's not too many new electrical locomotives I've got in here, but there is. I mean, these trains cannot be going fast up the hill at all. I realise I've got about 20 overlays up right now, but so this train just left. It's managed to get up to, what, 19 miles per hour right now, so not exactly going very fast at all. But if we double head them, it would just make the world a difference, and especially if we choose good locomotives as well. So, just really want to see how this train gets on coming up the hill here. See if it can get up to a decent speed at all. It's at 25 miles an hour right now, 26. Doesn't really seem to be getting much faster, to be honest, which is worrying. And that's probably causing us a lot of loss in money. So, what we're going to do, as I said, is we're going to go ahead and yeah, we're going to have to go for something totally different here. So let's go for electric. I'm thinking maybe going for some of these class 86 Freightliners. So these trains are specifically made for moving freight. Part of some of the new wagons that I did bring in. Got a very good tractive effort, which will help out a lot. And I think could be quite useful. Again, I've not used it before either. So, whereas right now we're using the... I mean, there it is there as well, actually. Again, a nice tractive effort. Whereabouts is the... I guess they are diesel, aren't they? So that's why they're not in that menu. Callum, well done. So it's a class 37. Their tractive effort is quite similar, actually. So I think it's probably just double heading them. That's what I need to do, and that's what we'll do. So let's jump back into electrical. Let's go ahead and grab 2 of these and do 1, 2. We're going to replace both of these trains at the same time here. Now, if we go by wagons, it looks like we are currently taking a mixture of wagons, which is fine. So, first of all, let's filter by freight here. As we can see, we've got a lot of different choices here. So currently up for now, we've been using these more like coal hopper sort of wagons, which is fine, but I would maybe rather go for something else for moving grain, just because I think that we can get something looking a little better and also doing a little better. This can carry much more. This can carry 18, whereas right now we're only carrying, I think, 13, so we can get much better results out of this. So let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Currently we've got 12 and 11, but just because with the increased capacity, we're not going to need that. And then for cattle, What can we carry cattle in? Again, it's probably box cars. I think we might just be using default box cars, or maybe... No, we're using these... What are we using? So many interfaces on my screen right now. Yes, it looks like we're using the classic AAR box car for Great Northern, which is fine. We've got a steel box car here. Again, similar size and capacity. Slightly smaller. We have got... Yeah, that can't carry livestock though. And again, we've got, I mean, these are really nice. These like 60-foot high cube wagons. But again, unfortunately, these do not carry any livestock. These do, but they're actually smaller in capacity. So it looks like our best bet, to be honest, is going to be sticking with what we've got, which 18 is a good capacity. And again, if we go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then that'll be fine. Then what we can do is go ahead and put automatic replacement on, replace now, and that should hopefully go ahead and start to turn the tides. I realise there probably isn't the demand for all that right now, but hopefully in the future we can start to see some more demand increase, and we can work on increasing the demand ourselves, to be honest. This farm here has got a lot of potential. We just need to go ahead and support it better at this end. And I know we have done stuff towards that, which has been useful, because from here I know we distribute to quite a few different towns. We distribute in here to Goldmine, we go along to... Do we not go from here to... Where do we go from here? We've got foods, so we've got some livestock coming in from here from elsewhere. Okay, that makes a bit more sense, because this place has got a much higher production than the farm. So food goes to Fordwich and food goes to Thaxted. Which that makes sense, yeah it does. Yeah, okay, that road is doubled up, yep. It doesn't go Fordwich and Thaxted, yeah that makes sense, and then Goldmine as well. Yep, right, okay, that all makes sense now. That all makes sense. But this is this, okay, so it's not just food that travels on that though. Must be maybe fuel that can travel on that as well, or I've either misnamed it. Either or. Hopefully we'll start to see some increased results on that front going forward as well, which should be nice. It's all really about just growing the demands here, and hopefully we'll start to see that. These trains now should be able to go up the hill much faster. We're seeing 37 miles per hour, which, although it's only a small difference, it is a difference. Again, the train's quite empty right now, so it's just really depends on how much and how well the towns... I mean, that's the thing, it's very poor here right now, so it could be much higher. But that also depends on where the food is travelling into in what part of town. So if we go ahead and jump into here, we have a look. As we can see, it's only distributing on this side of town, which, to be fair, where a lot of the industry is, but not where a lot of the, for example, commercial buildings are. So we maybe should build another one. I think that's what we'll do, just see if we can go ahead and raise this demand. So let's jump into industry drop-offs. Again, we've got some better buildings in here. We've got this massive one. It's like a large toll. Oh, that's a large toll station, so that's slightly different. Again, we'll mess around with that probably at a different time. What we're going to do is we're going to stick this in over here. And what I want to do is I just want to add in an extra actual stop to the current route we've got. I don't want to build a secondary route, because right now these trucks are incredibly empty, so they can go ahead and move quite a lot. So what we'll do is... I'm pretty sure this is just named wrong. It should just be G Goldmine Foods, because it's not carrying anything else unless fuel's supposed to come into here, but again, I don't think that is the case. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another stop in here. You're going to stop in there, and then you're going to go back over to get more food once you've done dropping stuff off. So again, if that makes a difference, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least we've gone ahead and given it a good go. Okay, so with that said, is it too early to go ahead and look and see if we're getting any profits on the upper line is doing better than the middle line in Hetton, that is for sure. So let's jump over to Hetton and see what is going on here. As we can see right now, we have some people waiting, one person for the middle line, that's fine. Then we come up to here, we've got 3 people waiting at this station here, which is nice to see. Coming along into the centre of town, we have 2 people waiting, so Again, there's already a bit of demand. No one waiting here, unfortunately. We've got 2 people waiting there. And then at this end, we've got nobody, but we have no one on that train, and yeah, no one on that train. So it seems to be a mixed bag of results. It seems to be doing slightly better anyway. If we go ahead and look at the individual trains, we've got a 7 on there, which is drastically high compared to what any other results have been on the middle line. So I mean, we've got not bad results at all there actually. My one thing that I'm thinking is that I can maybe get rid of one of these and just go ahead and decrease the frequency, because again, we've got so few people riding on this middle line. Again, if you've got any more tips to go ahead and make it a bit more profitable, please do. I don't really think we're going to be able to do that too much more though. I could always try building a tram underground, but I don't know how successful that would be. I don't know if that would be the same, but I am very much willing to go ahead and give it a go. Especially at the rate some of these towns, like Hampstead is now massive. It's probably got the biggest surface area of any town. Especially with all this. This is all new suburb. We only just touched the trams in this town not too long ago. But now we've got this whole new sprawling suburb up the top here, which that will need to be serviced at some point. And we all know about the main train station in here. It is just pretty crazy. But I would like to maybe spend some time in some other town, but I also want to go ahead and, you know, work on the underground as well. It's a difficult one, it really is. I'm glad to see Doncaster doing so well, you know, that's really nice to see indeed. It's doing very well in its tram, its train, and it's also doing well in the airport as well. There's a lot of people wanting to move around, so what we'll do to the end of this episode is we'll go ahead and work on the planes. I want to do that, and then from this we'll go ahead and start to, I guess, probably plan out what I'm going to do, because I might close this airport here as well. I'm not too happy with it. I might move it closer to Maidstone. We also need to sort Coburn out as well, mind you. That's Coburn's still an absolute mess for what it is. There is quite a lot of larger capacity now going in, but I mean, Coburn could probably benefit with a Crossrail, to be honest. I just want to build another Crossrail, but I need to do research into what town would actually benefit with it and what towns would benefit with trams. So I think we might give Hampstead a go at some point. Maybe in the next episode we'll do that, but as I said, let's touch on planes just towards the end here while we have a few more minutes. So as we can see, we've got a lot of routes in the profit, which is nice to see. MC Portishead has got the demand, which is good, so that should just about be nearly permanently profits. Newton Head to Portishead is doing remarkably amazing, in fact, actually, for our routes. Now we do have some new planes, which is quite exciting, so this means maybe some different options with regards to profitability. A lot of them are skins, don't get me wrong, but some of these planes will be much more beneficial to use. So currently mainly we're using the Yak. The Yak is our go-to plane just because of the fact that it's got a good capacity but also cost ratio as well. So costing 483k per year is quite good. For example, the Boeing 737, which we have got going on the HB to Kendal, and we've also got the Doncaster to HB, HB being Hampstead and Bangor or Bawtry, which of course is one of our biggest cities, then there's the demand for that there. That's got 13, that's got 21 on it, that's got 6, and that's got 21, so there's the capacity there. I cannot really afford to have more than 4 planes on an individual route, just because of runway and gate capacity. Again, we do actually have more airports, which we can look at again in a second, but right now we can really only limit each route to 4 planes. It's just what 4 planes go on there. If it's 4 fast ones or 4... not 4 fast ones, sorry, but 4 large planes or 4 small planes is really what we're gonna have. So what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and continue to follow that rule set. I'm going to get rid of... but then it's also about the frequency as well, I guess. It really is in the distance between the planes and the towns. Not planes, but towns. Right, we're going to go ahead and put some auto updates on, just because I think that's a good idea to have. Again, that keeps costs down. So Doncaster to Hetton is not doing very well. Anything in and out of Hetton doesn't seem to do very well. So, is there any alternatives in here which we could use, which may be as good as the Yak, but maybe just not quite as expensive per year, maybe, for example? We've got here the Wolf 200. I'm guessing that's probably German. Yeah, it is. So it is. It's from 1937 though, so that's not going to move very fast at all. Its running cost is extremely low though, but again, I think it's too old a plane. I need small modern planes is what I need. That's why the Yak works out really well. So its top speed is 485, whereas this is only 224. So we need something which is in about the 400s. What about some of these planes here? So that's actually got, it's quite amazing. It's got a really similar running cost. It's actually, is that cheaper running cost? Yeah, it is, and it's got more capacity. Same with this again here. I think these are the same planes here, or just about anyway. Yeah, so the DHC-7, just all with different skins. So we might be better benefiting changing up to these planes actually, and they're quite cool. Recently I've been flying a lot from Edinburgh to Southampton, and they use I think it's like -8 Q400 aircraft, and they probably carry about 88 people. Now I realise that this isn't to scale, you know, we've got a Boeing 747 here carrying 117 people. We've got an Airbus A320 carrying 47, so it's not quite to scale here, but as you can see, it is, you know, trying to simulate the real thing. There is sort of a scale to it at least anyway, which is nice. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to go ahead and replace these with some of our British aircraft, or British Airways DHC-7 airplanes. Again, I'm not the best with airplanes, so I do apologise. What have we got here in the Portishead route? I feel we could go ahead and possibly pull one of these planes off actually, which I think is what we'll do. So we'll go ahead and sell you. You've just sunk into the ground. And you're back, and you're taking off again. Interesting. Anyway, right, so that's that done, and we're also going to go ahead and change the plane type on this route here as well, which I think is a good idea. This is not what I'm looking for right now. Let's jump into here. Let's go into automatic replacement. If it's cheaper, and if it's only cheaper, you know, by 40,000, it's still going to make a difference across like 4 planes. So be quite happy with that. Right, so we're just going to go ahead and do that now actually as well. Quite happy to put British Airways on the side of everything. Not really bothered about any of the other routes. But what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to filter through all of these. This is going to take quite a while. And then we'll go ahead and, for the next episode, hopefully be in a little bit more profit with some of the air routes which we've got going in the skies right now. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for this video, so hope you have enjoyed it. Please leave a like, rate, and subscribe if you are new around here. Follow me on Twitter, go ahead and have one-to-one conversations with me, which I have with a lot of people over there. Go ahead and support me on Patreon. There's a lot more benefits for Patreon coming out over the next month. Discord, Snapchat. The Discord will be open, but very much you'll get faster replies in the Patreon only channels, and there'll also be some exclusive content in there as well going in there. That's all coming out towards the end of September once I've moved. I am back though, so if you've got any feedback or any integration ideas, then please tell me, and I will go ahead and integrate it now at a much faster rate than I previously was doing, that's for sure. And old comments as well, I am catching up on them slowly but surely. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.